That dude was huge! Good morning, everyone. Well, it's morning now for me. Saturday. Thought I'd get out and do a little bit of a vlog. And I thought of some topics. And I thought an appropriate topic would be, seeing as I live in South Africa, Johannesburg. Some of you might know or might have heard, this place is a dangerous place. If you look around us, this is where I live, suburbia, and you'll notice, for instance, I was a security guard. There's walls all around, high walls, there's electric fence, gates, so every house is fairly secure. And the reason for that being is that we have crime here that can get quite intense. So I thought I'd talk about crime and how it's affected me and just some stuff in general. And I'll kind of do that whilst riding through suburbia mostly, so you can get a feel of how things operate here. And first thing I want to talk about was, have I ever been affected by crime? The answer is yes, I have. I once got robbed at gunpoint when I think I was 16 or 17, I can't remember how old I was exactly, but what I do remember was that I just got a brand spanking new phone, and I was super upset that got taken from me. But in hindsight, it was actually I don't know why I'm doing this. It was actually, I'm not going to say it was my fault, but I was in a known hotspot for muggings or armed robberies or whatever you want to call it. So this guy came up to me. I was chilling with my friend. I was up to no good because I was young and stupid, and chilling with my friend on these stairs, and this guy, under the pretenses of being a car guard, comes up to us, and then when he got closer, he whipped out a gun, and he was just like, "Give me all your shit." I actually froze. I just put my hands up, and he actually, with one hand, with the gun in his one hand, in my face, and the other hand, he started digging through my pockets and just taking my shit. So that was pretty gay. And that's the only time it's ever directly affected me, crime, in this country. I was at a beer fest. You have like these tents with these long benches and long tables, and they're all sitting across from one another. And I'm sitting at this table, drinking beer, and I see there's this dude crawling underneath one of these tables, at everyone's feet. Now, all the women were leaving their handbags at their feet under the table because, there's beer everywhere, so that's the only place where you can put it. So he was crawling underneath, searching through people's handbags, or women's handbags. Or maybe there were some men with handbags too, I don't know. But mostly, he was just going through and taking all their shit. So I saw this. Now, I'm not a big dude, but But I just started going like, oi! Oi! Look over there! There's a dude taking shit! And then these other big dudes noticed, and they beat the crap out of him. That was pretty cool. Just the other day, I was reading my local newspaper, which just talks about stuff that happens in our area, and usually it's just people complaining about the road, being in bad state, or like, oh, these people having too many parties, and but I sometimes just browse through it, and I was reading, there was these two guys were driving in their Lexus, and then the BMW in front of them ran a red light, and he hit a Peugeot whilst doing so, and then kept driving. So it was a hit and run, or hit a car and run, not a pedestrian. And the Lexus decided, no, I'm gonna follow this dude, because you can't just hit a car and then drive away, because that's, totally dick. So they followed or / chased the guy. Oh my god, look here, there's like cameras everywhere. Look, I'm on TV. This is intense. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so they start chasing these guys, the guys in the Lexus chasing these guys in the BMW, and eventually they catch up to them, and the BMW stops. So the one guy from the Lexus gets out with his phone to take pictures of the car to prove that, this guy is being a douchebag. And then as he's doing this, 3 guys get out of this BMW, and the one guy whips out a gun, and this dude's like, oh shit, and he gets into the passenger seat of the Lexus, and the driver's still in the Lexus, and he puts the gun to the driver in the Lexus. Now the driver in the Lexus does some quick thinking, pops it in reverse, and starts reversing. So this guy was obviously telling him to get out of the car, so they could commandeer a new vehicle. And whilst he's reversing the Lexus, 2 shots go off in the car, and then he hits a wall of some house, and somehow there was a beehive in a tree next to the wall that got agitated, and all the bees came out of the beehive and went into the car. and I kid you not, this is true, and the robbers all ran away, left the BMW and then the Lexus as well. The guy in the Lexus didn't actually get shot, luckily for him. And it turns out the BMW had been stolen like a couple months earlier. So I actually, when I read that story, I couldn't believe it. I was like, this is something out of a movie. I believed it, all of it, and then all of a sudden the beehive came. I was like, wow, this is crazy. But luckily no one was seriously injured, and the 3 armed robbers are still at large. There was another time as well. It was also probably about 2 blocks away from my house on like a fairly big road. There was like a bank, not a bank heist, but we have, well, I'm sure everyone has, those bank trucks, those money trucks, those armored vehicles that transport cash from bank to bank, or I don't know exactly what they do, but they haul cash, and those are obviously targets for robbers, and here they get hit quite often. And there was this whole like full-on shootout, gun totting extravaganza that happened. People were shooting from moving vehicles. It was flipping crazy. I didn't see the vehicles, but I was on the road and I heard the shooting, and then later I saw on the news, or heard on the news, on the radio, what had happened, and I was like, connected the dots and realized that was that same place. How's it? Like, what the hell's going on over there? just shit on the road. It really frustrates me. So that's pretty much all the crime that has kind of directly or indirectly affected me. My family's also, like, I think everyone in my family except for my dad has been robbed as well. But I mean, I've been in this country now for, I don't know, 14 or 15 years, and I've only actually really been robbed once. So, and that was actually my fault, because I was in a place where I shouldn't have been. Oh my god, that's a Ferrari. Or Corvette, what is it? Ferrari. Oh, that's so cool. Then also what I wanted to talk about, this really awkward moment that I had, and I'm sure other people had it as well. It's public toilet etiquette, and there's kind of like, well, from my understanding, there's like an unwritten rule about how to behave in a public toilet. And the other day, that unwritten rule was broken, not by me, but by someone else, and it was super uncomfortable for me. I'm not ashamed of my body or anything, but if people are checking me out whilst pissing, I have to muster up a lot of, I don't know, I generally don't really do that well, but okay, let me just tell you the story. So, now you got a whole wall full of urinals, and if no one's occupied any of the urinals, then what I usually do is I go for either the one on the left or on the right, but on like the side of the wall. So then etiquette would be, now some people might disagree, but this is the way I see it. If you then rock up and you see one guy all the way to the left or all the way to the right, you then choose the opposite side of that guy. But now the other day, there's no one there. I arrive, I go to the left-hand side, and then as I'm, busy, as I kind of arrive, this other guy just goes to the one right next to me. Right freaking next to me. And then he kind of like semi-checks me out. So I was like, that's cool, he said hi. I was like, what the hell are you doing? And then I couldn't go, and it was like this whole flippin' mission, and I was pretty bleak about it. People should really know, if there's another urinal that's further away from someone else, you take that urinal. You don't just rub shoulders with each other and then give a little squiz and then... and my little winkadinks. I wonder what